welcome to the Cancer Journey podcast. I'm Alicia.
And I'm Shariann.
So today's topic is manifesting what you want, embracing all the magic that you have. But as normal, we're going to start with a grounding with our Pesh. So I'll go first this time. Okay. Physically, I am 4.4. Emotionally, I'm a 4.6. A spirit is 4.4, and hope is 4.3, and my word is
Okay. Physically, I'm 4.25, 4.3. Emotionally, 4.45. Spirit, 4.5. Hope, 4.5. And my word is relax.
okay. Okay, so today's topic, manifesting what you want. Oh, and it's such a big thing, right? And I feel like not so much now, but it was like a very hot topic maybe in the last few years, or especially I feel like around COVID. It was like manifest
Mm.
the life you want. And for me, it was a big buzzword because people weren't really telling you how to do it, right? They were just like, manifest it, as if it kind of springs out of nowhere. And it kind of reminds me of even like before that when people were talking about like instant gratification and kind of just this like, bling, here it is. But manifesting, as I'm sure that you know, is so much more than that. It's not that it comes from nowhere, but to me, it's very much a harnessing of your energy and your internal resources that aren't always tactile. They're not always concrete resources that you have that you're tapping into to create what you want to create.
Yes. And I'm going to add in the Shariann slant, which is we're all connected. So we're like this universal puzzle, and everybody has their unique piece, like any puzzle that fits right where it fits, that does what it's supposed to do, in the whole scheme of everything. And so when I say that, I also include the universe for me from a spiritual standpoint. Some people might call it God, spirit, Allah, whatever. Everybody has their own name, but we're all in totality, we're still all connected. And so when we talk about manifesting, for me, it is about me really stepping into, dare I say, my magic, the reason why I'm here, my purpose, my grace, and allowing that to come out of me to have the the life that I want to have with my magic and all the things that I bring with me uniquely and in connection with everybody else. Ooh, was that just too much? Should I pull back?
No, no, I don't think that was too much. I think what I'm getting from what you just said is alignment with self. And I think that's a big part of manifesting anything because, like, you can't really manifest something that is out of your reach or completely misaligned with you, something that has nothing to do with who you are and what you believe in. What you're manifesting, ideally, what you're choosing to manifest is something that is within your sphere. Maybe it's not like within your reach, it's not actually at your fingertips, but it is cohesive with the life that you have, the person that you are. So I do think that that's a really important piece of it. Like, I'm not I'm not hoping that, oh gosh, it's funny because to choose something within your scope, within your sphere, is very personal. So it's even harder, in my opinion, to think of something that is outside the sphere of reason. But I do think that knowing who you are um, gets clear about what you want, and then you're able to manifest those things that you want. So I think that's a really big piece of manifestation. And then I think another piece of it is, it's funny because I'm going to go in kind of like this odd direction, but psychics, right? And how they
Okay.
kind of read what's there, right? And then my personal perspective on like psychics is that there can be this dissonance because when someone is going to them in desperation, they're seeing what's in your sphere, they're feeling your energy, they take what they know about you, whether you believe it or not. They are taking facts that they know about you, or things that you've shared, or things that they kind of Sherlock Holmes are picking up about you. um and piecing it together, right? And whether they can truly see depth or not, they're laying groundwork. They're laying pieces out for you to then kind of latch onto. And so when you are cognizant of those things internally, like emotionally, and those feelings are sticking, or cognitively you can envision it, it is more likely to come up. So it's like, that's how I feel about psychics, but also kind of red car theory. It's kind of, those are kind of the same thing for me. I feel like I'm not explaining this perfectly, but like the red car theory is that, okay, if you're tuned in, you're like, I'm gonna notice red cars, right? You start to see them come up all the time. And so it's almost that another reference, inception, implantation of these ideas and this possibility that makes you notice them more. And so when they start to come to fruition, or you start putting energy towards them, you start to see it come up, and that's what really manifests it for you as well.
I'm going to bring you back to alignment, because that is absolutely that through line, which is when we are aligned with ourselves. And I think in our last um, podcast we were talking about dreaming. And so the dreaming is in alignment with what our heart desires. So when we're in that alignment, we can almost like hold up trust, but not have to be attached to it. It's almost like this desire that does not insist on it manifesting or showing up, another way of manifesting, in the exact form that you have envisioned in your mind. It goes more for, what is the experience that I want to have from this thing that I'm trying to manifest? And I want to bring in the cancer journey too, because one of the things that we hear all the time in a cancer journey is, I just want this to be over. I want to be cured. I want this to not be in my life anymore. And while I understand that, because I even said that, I mean, I remember saying, get it out of me. Whatever you need to do, just get it out of me. What we're really saying is, this feels so uncomfortable, and I'm scared, and I don't like it, and I don't like the way I feel, and I don't like being thrown into the front of the line on my mortality, that I want something else. And so of course we're going, if you're going to tell me that but there's a possibility that I'm going to die soon, then I want the opposite. I want to live right now. And so that is a request often on someone who's been diagnosed, or they're, what the caregiver is saying to their beloved, we want you to live. And that, it's not unreasonable. It is absolutely common. It's just we need more meat to that desire. We need the connection to you. I want to live so that I can see my grandchildren flourish and grow. I want to live so that I can have my contribution to that universal puzzle realized in this way. So it has much more structure, but then the unattachment is really about how we manifest it. As we
Mm-hmm.
trust that this is going to happen because we desire it, and we say it so, magic in the telling, I desire this. And then we just, not we don't let go, but we watch it unveil. And we also take steps with whatever we're capable of doing to make it happen. But we now start feeling the support and the resources of others and the universe to make this desire come to life.
Yes, 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 yes. I love how you just framed manifestation, right? It's not just this like woo woo comes out of nowhere thing. It is a perspective of how you get the things that you want. And it becomes really important on a cancer journey because the reality of the cancer journey is that you are limited. There are limitations that you are now working with that you didn't have before. And you're only limited from where you were. It doesn't mean that you have limitations that stop you from doing anything. And so your wants and needs are going to change. And as you said, as an example, I want to live is an absolutely fair dream to hold. And it gets to be something that you explore. So instead of just manifesting surviving cancer, um, by broadening your view and getting clear about what living truly means to you, you get to become articulate and trying to not use the word clear over and over again. But you become really clear on what that looks and feels like to you, how it shows up in your life. There's this much more expansive view of like the possibilities of what just living means, not just breathing, but the joy, the expression. Maybe you want to create something, maybe you want to go somewhere, maybe you want this internal experience that may have an external manifestation. And so when you hold that energy, you start to notice when those opportunities, when those feelings, when those experiences all come up for you, and you get to say, oh, this is living. That that thing that I was looking for, this is life, and it continues to show up the more you notice it and say yes to those opportunities. They don't have to be humongous, like trips to Africa or something like that, but they get to be impactful for you when you hold this really trusting frame of, generally, I want to experience life as XYZ. And so when it pops up, you get to connect with it more deeply.
Yeah. Yeah, because it matters because you've explored it enough that you could see it in your mind's eye, you could feel it in your body. It's like, okay, I really get this instead of just a blanket statement. It is a real desire, as we talked about in dreams. And from there, when it has that totality of you, we could see it, feel it, taste it, smell it, hear it. I mean, it's like using all of our five senses, and we really are engaged in it, and we're really clear on what does this give me? And I just saw It's a Wonderful Life, and it's a great movie. But George, as a young child, would go to the pharmacy and he would click that thing and that you could make a wish, and he'd say, "I wish for $1 million," and then it would light up. He goes, "Hot damn!" and off he goes. He probably said hot dog, but I just emphasized a little bit more. And that was really cute. And that's kind of how we throw things out there. It's like, okay, but what do you want to do? What does $1 million mean to you? And what do you want to do with that? Is it just because I'm greedy? No, I don't think truly in anybody's soul, if that's their impetus. It is for recognition, it's for financial security, it's for funds to support adventure, it is to help others. It's, so many people do different things with the financial resources that they have, and that specificity is what's going to help with the manifestation. And then seeing it in your mind's eye, and then feeling it with your being, and actually seeing yourself engaged in it. Like, what's my contribution to this end goal?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's because when it's at the forefront and it's something that you continue to visit for yourself, whether it's taking a moment to just remember it every day and then start to notice those signs, to journal about it, to talk to people about it, to start to build that out, not only is that deep in your being, right? And you're kind of practicing it, but it starts to create movement for yourself. You start to, when you really want something, you can't just sit there and wait for it. And you know what? You're really not going to sit there and wait for it when you really want it, because when it keeps coming up for you, it's a reminder. It's a reminder, not a reminder to bug you, to be like, don't forget, don't forget. It's more like, why this matters actually. This deeply matters. And that's why it keeps coming up because it resonates. And I want it so badly that I can't just sit here and wait for it. Like I'm going to start to make active moves. And so that manifestation actually is more of an internal practice to kind of hold it in you, see if it does really align. And when it does, you will, nothing will be able to stop you from moving forward with that path or figuring out exactly what it is, because your soul needs that and it wants it deeply. And really, you're the only one who has the power to make it real for yourself. We're not waiting for some outside source to make it happen. However, talking to people about it and involving it more in your life, making it something that is known to be important to you, is more likely to attract it. Because what if someone else hears your dream, your thing that you want to manifest, that you can't even contain it, like that they're able to offer something to help you get there. You know, it's like when you watch people talk about something they're really passionate about, and you just watch them like become alive with it. It's hard to then resist being a part of that and being like, wait, but I have something that can help make that real, or I can gift them something. And then it begins to kind of snowball because you've put energy and you've put love and you've put voice behind it, that from yourself, from other people, from the universe hearing you, like it starts to come to fruition, and you start to notice the signs more and more. And when it does land, it's like, wow, I did I did that just by
I
holding on to it.
Yes, well, and being aware. I love that you said signs because that was popping up for me. When you see the signs, like an opportunity shows up, something shows up in email, somebody calls you, I was thinking about you, and somebody just said this, and I thought about you, so I'd love to do the introduction. Or I don't know, the signs are like, feel magical because you didn't actually make that happen. It like it came as a cause of you being excited and talking about it, or you just playing with the ideas in your head. There is energy that is beyond what we can just do ourselves. And so, I mean, there is magic in manifesting, or it feels magical. And I'm going to stop saying that word because it might turn some people off. But I like when that happens, when it's like, I have this desire, I'm not attached to how it's going to unfold, but I really would like to get to that end result, that experience. So let's actually play with this and see what circuitous or straight path it's going to take, and who's going to show up that I don't even know yet to help me along this path.
Yeah. What I'm also hearing in my head is that be loud about the things that matter to you, right? Because you're not going to, it's not going to come to fruition. It's not going to happen if you play small. It's the same thing, like we always say, tell us what you want, say what you need, because no one else is in your brain, so no one else knows what you want. And you're your best advocate, your best ally. So when you ask for what you want, there is no questions about which way you were leaning. And if someone is able to fulfill that and they're willing to, they will. You know, it's like when someone is thinking of you because you've told them about something that you love or you're passionate about, and they send you something that is useful for you, even if it's just like a photo or something, and it it starts to expand this dream so it becomes real for you. And it really does feel like magic. I know that it feels like a word that not a lot of people love, but it doesn't help you to play small when it comes to your dreams and what you really want.
Yeah. And change in the status quo requires voice and energy. And I could just see, especially in the cancer realm, when I was first diagnosed, and it wasn't that long ago, 26 years ago, um, my first diagnosis. And I was really curious and I said, am I getting old treatment? Because it felt like, it was chemotherapy and radiation. And that's pretty much it. It was chemotherapy and radiation or surgery. And I'm like, is there something new? Because logically, in my brain, I said, if it's my immune system that's not working like it should to get rid of the rogue cells, then shouldn't I be working on my immune system to boost it up so that it can do its job better? Maybe it's depleted, it's tired, whatever. And I got nodding heads like that makes sense, Shariann. Of course, of course. And then all of a sudden, years later, bling, there's something called immunology, where it is part of it can be treatment for some cancers. And then I just read an article this morning that was about this guy who is focusing again on our immune system, but on these particular cells and how he's doing. And I'm like, it takes people saying something. It takes voice. And you don't know what your conversation with your oncologist or the support people or wherever is going to lead. And that's, I'm going to say the word one more time. That's the magic, because you're visionizing something that you want because it would help not only you, others. And I'm so excited that because I have survived so long, that if anything were to come up, that there will be new treatments, not treatments that were, in the 1950s or 60s. It's like now we're in the 2000s, 2020s. It's like
Yeah.
that was somebody's manifestation
Because
and
I
many
think
people's manifestation.
I was just gonna say that honestly, science is kind of manifestation. I know, and I mean, I believe science is magic, but the science takes someone, a scientist, being like, I wonder if this is possible. Like, I have this dream that possibly this could happen, or I have this theory, or I have this hypothesis, and instead of just preaching from this assumption, I'm going to do the work and find out. And I'm going to share this work with people. And I'm going to hope that it can change lives of other people. But there's so much trust and talking about what you're passionate about, sharing the things that matter to you that make this happen. Because it's rarely one singular scientist who, is doing something by themselves for their own good. It's usually a team. They're using their resources. They're using a lab somewhere. Someone often is funding their project because they believe in what they're doing. Like, that is such a manifesting enterprise right there that allows us to do things like this, to find new treatments, that research, that commitment and dedication that so many people are saying yes to this vision and helping to make it happen, even if it's spearheaded by one person. But so many people are contributing to this project to make it happen. And maybe they find a dead end, maybe they find something else, but the curiosity and the saying yes and the support is really what goes behind a lot of manifestations.
Yeah, it comes from the heart first. I want to help. I want to do good. Even those who say, I want to be famous, it's like, and what will that give you? Legacy? Okay, so you want to do something that will help people forevermore, have impact. That's nothing wrong with that. I'd say yes. I mean, when it wasn't my first cancer, I think it was after the second cancer where I said, okay, this is ridiculous that I'm going through this as hard as it is. There's got to be a different way. And I was lucky enough to already be in the life coaching community, and my business partners were there to help me every step of the way from a emotional, mental, and a spiritual standpoint. And it's what lifted me up. And I said, then I think everybody should be able to have access to this. There, the Cancer Journey Institute and Cancer Journey Coaching was born, and we're still here. I think we're going to have a legacy because there are enough out there right now to like not to propagate this movement. But more than anything, it's like we're helping. We have a purpose. We can't do it alone.
No. I mean, even doing this podcast is manifesting for us, right? Like, it's in support of what we're doing at the Cancer Journey Institute and what's beautiful about this platform is it gives us a voice to share with people who are also on the same page with us, who understand us, or people who don't know yet. They want to better understand. But this is something that we're really passionate about and we really love, and to get to share it all the time is really, really such a gift. Um, and also it helps us and our goal to support all people who are experiencing cancer in their lives, patients, survivors, thrivers, and a double click on those caregivers, like, just because caregivers are often, dismissed or not seen in their light. So this is something that we're continuing to manifest by doing this work and by bringing it to people all over the world.
Okay, I think I'm going to do my takeaway. Our job is to manifest. And just like we talked about in dream goals, we have desires that we want, and we can't just hold them silently in our heart or in our head or just holding it. We need to share. Talk about it. Talk about our passions. Let ourselves feel it. Allow other people to help us realize these dreams. That's what it's all about. Okay. My closing pesh. Physical 4.45. Emotional 4.55. Spirit 4.75. And hope 4.7. And my word is buzzing.
Okay, my turn. So my takeaway is that while manifesting is magical, it takes effort and it takes attention, and mainly just awareness of what you really want. Um, and once you know what you want, to be able to communicate it and express it to yourself, first of all, and be able to hold it and notice it as those signs come up for you is so important when manifesting, but also sharing it with other people. Throughout this whole process of things, last week we talked about dream goals, this week we're talking about how to manifest them. That whole process starts with going through your dream goals. And so we have a virtual workshop this coming weekend. Check it out on our website, but we'll be going through dream goals so you can figure out what you want and start to build how it feels within you so you can really manifest those dream goals in a way that is still in alignment with who you are and how you live your life, but also going a little deeper and figuring out what really matters to you. So that's my takeaway. Physically, I am a 4.5. Emotionally, I am a 4.6. Spirit is a 4.5 and hope is a 4.3, and my word is passion.
Mm.
We'll be back next week with a new episode, but before that, you should absolutely join us for our virtual workshop and just start to explore your dreams for this new year.
Yes, thank you for being with us. Have a lovely rest of your day, and remember, you're more powerful than you realize.